Hey folks, it's been a rather boring weekend. Obviously, I haven't made a video yet, themed video. I'm gonna try to make one tonight on one of the Clinton Library entries, but I did want to take a minute to talk about other forums where you can reach me. If you want to get feedback besides YouTube. I don't have any more video um, formats that I'm in right now because, first of all, what was that called? The for Actually, it's been gone for only a few weeks, but I had something on that video sharing format that I forgot about already. I think it wasn't Vimeo, but they already closed, and it was a problematic one because it would only let you use um 30 minutes of space at a time. So all your videos had to be under 30 minutes. I still can't believe that I can't remember what it was called. I'm going to look it up while I'm talking to you. But in any case, alt media is going to have to be the next, uh, the next frontier for our, all of our channels, all the channels that are following me, and all the channels that I'm talking about, which is a lot. That's a larger group, obviously. Let me see if I can find it. It was VidMe. Okay, so VidMe was the. I can't believe I couldn't remember it, but they closed because they weren't. They didn't strike while the iron was hot. People are tired of a lot of the censorship on many of the platforms, including this one, YouTube. Although YouTube is still fantastic for music. YouTube is still great for finding clips of media around the world, because I do like looking, for example, at stuff from RT or from the BBC or from other international channels, Telesur, stuff like that. So it's still important to keep your one hand in the in the established tech pond, and then to expand into the other tech sites. Okay, so Twitter, for example, I've had an account on Twitter for probably a year and a half, and it's gotten me almost nowhere. It's very hard to attract followers there. I think you get blocked very easily. There was the whole James O'Keefe story that broke, where they do these shadow bans. I don't know if I was shadow banned. There's almost no way for me to find out, according to what I've heard. So, but that's not the point. Twitter is a horrible format. You basically have to shout at people who hate you anyway, or you join a number of other people that are basically, they're basically just as rabid, if not worse, than you. So I get very little use out of Twitter. Sometimes I'll use it to share some of the some of the content I do on here, or one of my blog posts or whatever. Believe it or not, I mean, my old blog posts on Blogger are probably, they get more coverage than Twitter, and that's not a lot. So that shows how useless Twitter has been for me. Facebook was originally where I started posting a lot of my opinions. But the Facebook and Blogger. Facebook was, for a while during the election, a great place to share your views and even promote them. And I was promoting them. I was spending money on promoting them. And eventually, I realized that that Facebook had decided that I'm going to take your money, and then I'm not actually going to promote you. I'm gonna basically throw your exposures into the dustbin. I don't know what they did, but at a certain point, I stopped getting likes and I stopped getting exposure, and I haven't spent a cent on Facebook for a very, very long time. Probably, I would say, since the end of 2016, I didn't spend a single cent on Facebook to promote any of the stuff I do. And you know what? There's no point. I have a day job. I don't need to be a full-time, content creator yet. And hopefully I never will be, because it seems like a lot of these people are not living very well right now. They're under threat because the platforms that they used to create their followings are treating them like garbage. It's just the truth. and that's what created YouTube. It wasn't listen, YouTube did not become big because they started broadcasting movies and taking money for them. And in fact, you could say it was the contrary. People would look for movies they couldn't find anywhere else that were presented on a flipped screen, and people would watch them, and it was great. That was a YouTube of about 5 or 6 years ago. I used to watch YouTube all the time, not just for that, but for the music, for all that, and it was great. Now YouTube basically is like the thought police. Facebook is probably worse, and Twitter is North Korea or something. It's unreal. So what do we do? We migrate to other platforms and start sharing our content with each other there. And those of you, I know I have a few listeners that are in their 50s or 60s, according to based on what they've told me. Okay, maybe I'm assuming too much, but they appear to be in their 50s or 60s. Look, if you're already on YouTube or you're already on Facebook, then it's not that painful to go to Gab or Minds.com. BitChute, I'm not even on yet. Patreon, by the way, I have an account, but I haven't really, promoted it or anything. But if you want to go there and pay a little money into this, whatever the fuck I'm doing here, go ahead. I have it because I use Patreon to follow three or four creators that have exclusive content on it. So that's why I have a Patreon. But maybe we could start something, make this into something real. But that's not the priority right now. I'm not even looking necessarily to becoming one of these people that's sharing stuff every single day. There's some weeks I share stuff 3 days a week. There's some weeks I share stuff 5 days a week. There's some weeks I share stuff twice a day. There's some weeks I share stuff once a week. Okay. There's some weeks that I do more work on the blog or on other written material, and that could be even more frequent coming soon than I do on videos. And there's a real issue here where people are going to be, and they already are becoming, burnt out by the political situation in the country. So there's other things people want to talk about. A lot of these political creators, such as some black guy, or Derek Blackman as he calls himself, and Anthony Logan and Chris Raygun, they have gaming channels. Sargon of Akkad, I think, has a gaming channel too. I'm not really that big into gaming, so I'm not going to have one of those. I used to do a little more stuff on sports, but people are burnt out. A lot of people are with politics. Meanwhile, some of the people that weren't really interested in politics are getting into it, but it's impossible to know which way the movement is stronger. So in the meantime, instead of just depending on YouTube and on Facebook, these very throttled and corporate dependent platforms to represent our needs as creators and as viewers, by the way, because I've had a lot of people that I follow basically throttled by YouTube, and I don't even know when they've shared anything. Well, we need to start sharing our stuff on other formats where or other platforms where we can know that stuff is coming out. Now, Minds.com and GAB.AI, if you're one of these people that are against, very, I wouldn't say even against. It'd be like people that are very easily turned off by racism. Well, you're going to have a problem there, because there's a lot of creators on both of those formats, on both of those platforms, that are full on stormtrooper, hardcore right wing, whatever. And I make a choice usually not to interact with them, and that's about it. And I don't think that they really come on to, there's not that much trolling on Minds.com or Gab yet. There's very, it's almost like new territory, a fresh start on those platforms. Now, will they take off? It's hard to say. I do know that Facebook and Twitter are rapidly destroying their own communities. Twitter was never very profitable to begin with. A lot of their revenue was dependent on new investors, not so much on the actual profitability of the model. They wanted to invest in Twitter, and it's become kind of a joke of a format. it's full of they even say that they're full of Russian bots, and they're always trying to filter them out or something like that. And nobody really knows the truth. um, and then you talk about younger people are more interested in Instagram and Snapchat and formats like that that are a little more frivolous and don't really have they're not really for politics. They're more for sharing, like, memes and little dances and whatever. So I think Twitter and Facebook are basically already in grandpa's generation of social media. They're not going to last and I'm not saying that they're not going to last at all, but in the next 10 years, I think that they're really going to shrink in terms of their influence. And this Mark Zuckerberg, he's going to, I mean, he's obviously got plenty of wealth to sit on. That's not the issue. We're not talking about Mark Zuckerberg going bankrupt, but we are talking about Facebook and Twitter as business models shedding a lot of employees and shedding a lot of infrastructure and basically consolidating into something much smaller and less important than it's been. It's happened. It's happened in regular press media, regular print and digital online media for a long time. We see Newsweek is barely keeping itself afloat. That's what happens with large businesses. That's what happens. That's why Too Big to Fail became like a real theme during 2008. That was with the auto industry. Well, the auto industry has much more tangible assets than does an institution like Newsweek or the Boston Globe or the New York Times. CNN one day might have this problem, although they're still part of a massive media conglomerate. I think Time Warner still owns them. So this is not going to be. Hold on, I'm checking this game I'm playing. This is not going to be a painless process for those of us that are choosing to, retreat a little from regular media, or, if you will, even decide to just go on to the new platforms: GAB.AI, Minds.com, BitChute. What's the other one? Steemit. Those are becoming options. I don't know if I'm going to start a Steemit or BitChute account. I've gone on BitChute. I'm not quite sure how to use it yet, but it's becoming more and more important for a lot of people. Just in order to find the stuff you want to find. Is it important for? I mean, look, I have less than 200 full-time subscribers. My views aren't that many. You can. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to project myself as this massive content creator. I mean, everybody can look. They see I don't have that many subscribers. They see my videos don't have that many views. If you're still watching the stuff I create, it might be just because you like the messenger a little better than other places you see it, or you see something that I share that nobody else is talking about. And I hope you do continue to watch. But I think that whether it's because you like this channel or because you like other channels, and I know a lot of you are Lionel Nation watchers, a lot of you are maybe some of you are Sargon watchers, maybe a lot of you are Anthony Logan watchers for sure. You should probably already know that it's important to go on some of these platforms and really diversify your news source. Also, I believe Facebook is limiting its news sharing capacity now. They're really going to clamp down on it with their algorithm, so that they're going to lose a lot more people. So that's about it. I think I've beaten a dead horse here. But yeah, look at all the links I have at the bottom. I'm on GAB.AI at Starscream85. I'm on Minds.com. That's Chef Leopard, the same as most of my other ones. You can still subscribe to my other formats if you haven't already. And especially look at my blog, because there you can get a lot of the things that I talk about more frequently or with in greater detail. So that's about it. Have a great day. I hope to see you later. And I guess go Vikings today and go Jaguars. We'll see what happens with that. See you guys later.